Hello, lovelies, and today it is Tuesday, March the 7th, a huge day astrologically. We've got the full moon in Virgo that happened a few hours ago at 16 degrees, currently 19 degrees when I'm making this video. And we've got Saturn going into Pisces today, which is very significant for me because it's Saturn return, my second Saturn return. And I've just been looking at my chart to go deeper around understanding what's going on for me and cross-pollinating the code as well. So in terms of the astrology, how it ties up the degrees, how they match the Mayan numbers as well. And that's very significant because I share my Saturn return with my son, my firstborn, and I gave birth to him when I was 29. And that was in the last year of my red earth 13-year cycle. And then I went into white wind 13-year cycle as a mother. And I talked about this in previous videos. This is so important if you want to understand what's going on and how to work with that. So today we're on a huge day in terms of the Mayan as well, because we're on day 7 of Blue Hand Wavespell. So here we are. We're on Red Skywalker, Red Resonant Skywalker. And so we're seeing what's resonating with creating heaven on earth. And Virgo is very much connected to Mercury, but also to Chiron as well. So very much about our wound and everything that's resonating still with that, and how that can go into our body as well if we don't work with it before it manifests itself. And this time is really about that tuning into the dream of Pisces, Sun in Pisces, and how to look at the details with Virgo, especially around health and work dynamic, bringing that into balance. So day 7 of any 13-day process, we reach the top of the pyramid in terms of the Mayan calendar. So we're up there, nearest to the gods. These are why these structures are created, so that they are as high as possible using this numerology as well. And so resonance is about resonating with truth, with light. The cards that I got today, again, the Sun, which is the 20th Mayan sign, and the planet is Pluto. Come back to that in a moment. And the cards that I've got for today, quite an amazing array actually. So we've got the Eon, which is Aquarius coming in, leaving the age of Pisces, going into the age of Aquarius, being solution focused, letting go of emotions. Leo lust, and having the passion and the courage to do this journey. And the Emperor, so coming into action with Aries, being the hero and heroine. Solar wheel just around the corner, so close now, isn't it? Really feel that energy picking up. And also this one, which is a link to Saturn in Pisces. So how we can lose momentum, we can lose the dream when we become lazy and we're stuck in stagnant emotion. And for me at the moment, I'm just feeling so tired. I went to an amazing sound bath again last night, so I go to those once a month and get a huge shift there I've been doing a lot of physical work, so I'm feeling tired and I have overstretched myself, and that's a common thing for me. Overstretching, overreaching, and a lesson to be learned, really. I remember when I was pregnant with my son, getting frustrated a lot of the time because I could not do physically what I had done before. And that is a maturity issue as well. So, really understanding how to self-care and nurture and be able to receive and allow the universe to bring in the dream for us in a way that we may not have thought of before. So where is the full moon affecting your chart? Well, for me, it's within 1 degree of my Pluto. So again, that ties in with the sun and also blue storm. My Mayan sign is the 9th day of that, the gateway point, getting emotionally clear of these stagnant emotions and whatever's holding us back from the past. And so whatever emotions I'm feeling around when I became a mum, and it was such a special time for me and something that I'd never planned to do and change my whole life. And I think that's so critical, isn't it, to how the universe brings us things that we need, not necessarily what we think we want, and how that opens our eyes to whole new ways of living. So Pluto in the chart is the next step from Saturn, really. We don't pay attention to Saturn and we don't work with that process, the structure, which again is tricky with Saturn in Pisces because it's been in Capricorn and Aquarius. And it's been in Capricorn, Pluto has been in Capricorn, Saturn has been in Aquarius. So these are very structured energies. And once it goes into Pisces, Saturn, as it has now, there's a very different energy, which is limitless and coming into unity, Christ consciousness in terms of how do we get clear, how do we get clean with Virgo of our addictions, of our unhealthy, slothful behaviors, and let that energy flow. And the more that we clear our addictions, the more that we create really good boundaries for ourselves as well. So this is paradoxical, isn't it? How do we create good boundaries and be limitless? And the models are all out there with the teachings. And so we become the change that we want to see, to be love. And Virgo is such a lovely energy for that. It can be on the shadow side, very controlling, very mind focused, very detailed. And the flip side is it's the sacred feminine. It's the opening to the goddess and the earth that we are part of. So I have Pluto at 15 degrees of Virgo, and it's in my 7th house of relationship. So although I'm a Leo fire sign, I have more earth than anything else in my chart. I have a lot of Virgo energy. I have Taurus energy. The North Node is just aspecting my moon in Taurus at the moment as well. Very close to that. So seeing how I can shift my emotional story, what still affects me, and it's all a story in my head, as it is for all of us. It's what I've made into a story. It's what I've placed meaning on, and I can release any attachment to suffering if I choose, which is a very full-on process. So my Pluto and Uranus are very close together, 15 and 13, and they are opposite my Saturn, which is at 15 degrees of Pisces. So I've just been reading the stories that go with that, the sigils. which you can check out your chart and see how these amazing channeled works can illuminate where we have a map to navigate, which is our solar chart. Now, in terms of these codes, transferring them to the Mayan, I have Uranus at 13 degrees, so that's red Skywalker, which is today, red Skywalker being the 13th Mayan sign. How do I create heaven and earth? My grandmother, her story, that's what I'm navigating, my ancestral pattern. And also Pluto being at 15, so that's blue eagle, which is my son's Mayan sign. He's a blue magnetic eagle. And so, of course, all of this back then, I didn't know any of this intellectually. So I'm now with Saturn in Pisces, revisiting my first house. So my first house is my key mission, Saturn in Pisces, the structure of dreams. It's the work that I do, helping people live their dream, reach their avatar potentiality, which is blue hand. And I have Chiron retrograde, Saturn retrograde as well, at 21 degrees of Pisces. So again, this is going over old ground over and over again, reworking these codes, reworking these patterns. I have Aquarius also in my first house, Lilith there, Juno there, and Pallas Athena there. And again, these are all linked into my ascendant, which is at 0 degrees. So again, how do I come into ground zero, creating a new structure for myself at this time and build on my previous Saturn with wisdom? And so wherever you've got 0 degrees, wherever you've got Pisces energy, this is a big area to look at, and also Virgo as well. So by the time we get to Virgo new moon in September, what are we going to have manifest as to our dream? It will be interesting to see where we are and what we've achieved. And I know that what's happening for me right now is absolutely huge. So I'm going to be in a very different place on every level by the time I reach September. And so I'm going to keep it short today. That's it. I just wanted to make this for me, really, because this is energetically key for me today. And so remember that whenever you're shaping your destiny, you're doing it for yourself first. Whatever you do every day is going to show up for you in the future. So we can do a combination of different energies every day, things that are grounded, earthy, and necessary, practical, and also healing, clearing the old patterns, using the triggers to come into our full potentiality. That's what we're here for in this lifetime. And an essential part of that is growth, is being stretched, having the courage to go to places that we haven't been before, maybe sometimes that no one has been before, as they used to say in Star Trek, which I used to love watching when I was a child. So let's live big and live our dream. Lots of love. Bye for now.